So I was driving back from Milwaukee in a little red car, and on my way back, it was about 5 hours from home, and my car, about halfway through the trip, started on fire. Smoke was billowing out the front under the hood, and so in a panic, I veered off the road and exited. I pulled up to a stoplight. It was red, so I pulled up and stopped. I got really scared that if I were to press on the gas, my car was going to explode. But when the light turned green and I inched forward, it was okay. So then I U-I'd off and parked in a parking lot. And at that moment, the smoke had totally covered the windshield. And so I hopped out of the car, leaving all my possessions in the car. And at that moment, saw sparks and flames building under the hood. And so got nervous that I was going to get caught too close to the car when it went off or something. But then two strangers, a man and a woman, a couple, pulled up behind me. They had followed me off the interstate and acted as my guardian angels and helped me get away from the fire and waited until firefighters put the fire out.
I chose Trailblazer because it's a real symbol of who I am as a person. I never give up. I always go full throttle. One of the lines I've kind of lived by ever since I was a girl was, what does it say about you if you give up? I'm a strong-willed woman, and I'm not glass. It takes a lot to break me, so. This cross symbol was given to me from a friend of mine. It symbolizes more than just, God's light to guide me. It also symbolizes my friends, my family, who have not only believed in me, not just supported me, but most of all loved me. And it's with that strength and that love that I'm here and I can do this, and I know I can. With two challenges that make learning so difficult for me, I remember my mom saying, "You don't have to do this," and I said, "I want to."
I went to school in like a predominantly white area, and so I went there and I was like completely different than everyone. And so in school, I was always too Hmong, too different, too Asian than everyone else. And so people would look at me differently, treat me differently. And I hated it. So I changed who I was kind of like when I was at school. And so after that, hanging out with my family, like my cousins, I would go back to my cousins, and they're all because my cousins, they didn't really grow up in like the same area I did. They kind of were surrounded by Hmong people for more of their life than I was. And so I would go and hang out with them, and I'm super close to them, but they would always make fun of me for being white. I was always kind of outcast for that when I was with them. So I was always too white to completely fit in with them. And then I was too Hmong to completely fit in with anyone at school. Over time, kind of got better. I just kind of learned to embrace it, learned to love that I was Hmong, and I always felt like I was trying to change who I was.
I have alopecia areata, which is a disease where my hair does not grow on certain parts of my body, and it's something that I've had for almost 8 years now, and it is sort of a defining thing about myself that I look at myself in the mirror and I see my alopecia, and sometimes that's the only thing I see, and whether or not I want to see it, that's sort of what I see. And the smile bright that I have on my forehead is something that when I have met people in the past, they have said that they don't see my alopecia right away. They see my smile because it's so bright, and that has definitely made me feel more confident in my ability to go out there without trying to hide my alopecia, and be more comfortable in my own skin, in my own the amount of hair that I have, and it just reminds me to continue smiling and focusing on that instead of just my alopecia.
My name is Eric Johnson, and I am associate professor at University of Wisconsin River Falls in the Stage and Screen Arts Department. I teach primarily film, and my story relates to somebody that really inspired me when I was in college. I had an instructor that had this very unique expression of planning, and this instructor of mine visually communicated this, was writing PLANAHEA on the chalkboard, and they didn't get to the D because they ran out of space because they didn't plan ahead. Although sometimes in life things don't always go as planned, if we can find creative solutions and turn setbacks into comebacks, we may find that things turn out even better than we had hoped. Or, if they don't, we may find confidence for future problem solving and another interesting story to share.